obviously, Tuchel's literally had like a couple of days.
He's had about 12 hours.
So literally about 12 hours with the team.
Yeah.
To sort at least put a formation together and put a team together.
Yeah.
To go against Wolves, who it was going to be a hard game. They're a good team.
Going to be a tough game.
But in terms of, obviously Frank's gone and you're gutted because he is a Chelsea legend. And you were saying about you didn't want legends to be managers. But do you feel that obviously you probably back it was the right call to get rid of him, maybe? Or do you think he should have had a bit more time, maybe?
I personally would have gave him more time, but I think you can't rely on that. You can't be like, I think, because the argument of he should have had more time. Like, what are you doing in the time that you're actually there to prove that you should get more time? Like,
and also, what's to say if like you didn't give him an extra 3 months and then you're down to 15th?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he could have lost every
single game. It's worse off than it actually is.
Yeah. Or do we get someone in that has more experience, that's been at big teams in the world, and manage big players? Like, he's perfect for for a Premier League team. It's just how does he implement his strategies? Obviously, that's going to come with time with the team. But I'm excited. But also in the same vein, I'm a bit like, ugh.
Because Chelsea don't have a good record with managers.
No.
Like, they don't have a good, like, Tuchel could come in, turn your season around and get you fourth, get backed. And then it's just a thing of, if he finishes like fifth or sixth, because this isn't Dortmund and this isn't PSG, like, fair enough, he's a very, very good manager. Like, he is a very good manager, and I stick by him. I think he's a great manager. But the problem that you've got with the Prem is because it is so competitive.
Yeah,
you are literally fighting for top four when there's about 7 teams that are going for top four, and he might miss out. So what happens if he misses out?
Yeah, I think that's you just have to. That's one way you call it when it happens, isn't it? But to be honest, like, because now he's in the tough position because it's like he has to try and save Chelsea now.
Yeah.
So like everything, so it's not as if to say like, oh, when are the players going to start performing? It's what does the manager do? So I think there needs to be a bit of joint responsibility because the players are playing like trash. They're not playing well. Yeah. Any of them. None of them are playing well. So it's a joint effort, man. They need to work, man. They need to listen to the manager and they need to try their hardest because yesterday they looked like, it made me think, you know how sometimes when you play at goals, you're like, and you play against a difficult team.
Yeah.
Like the passing and stuff is the easiest bit, but it's almost as if you're kind of like scared to go forward in case you get hit and then, oh my God, we're losing like 4-0, whatever. It felt like that. It felt like, okay, let's get the ball to the wingers. When they got the ball to the wingers, they were so like tentative and they just didn't want to beat anyone. Until Mason Mount came on, we didn't really look like doing anything. And I knew for a fact as well, because he's a little Chelsea fanboy, that as soon as he came on, he was going to play out of his skin. And that's what we need, man. We need people that are like, and he might have left him out of the team for that reason. To think, okay, cool, Frank's been telling you that you're going to be captain, but if you want to be, you need to keep playing like that. So I'm going to leave you out, and then when you come on, it gives you extra incentive.
The thing with it as well is like Tuchel's really good with young players.
Yeah.
And you've got a good mix of a young squad and the players that he's got. And also, let's not forget, he had Thiago Silva at PSG. So, and obviously being German speaking and things like that, it might be good for Havertz and Werner. Maybe, I don't know. But the whole thing of it is Chelsea just have this model of merry-go-round managers. And it's a bit like, it might be a system that works because you win stuff, and that's fine. That might work for Chelsea. But then also, when are you then just going to give a guy a bit of time and just let him build something? Because from me personally, out of all the managers that you've probably had previously, I'd give Tuchel the most time, out of all of them, because he's proven he can do it. I mean,
that's the thing though. That's the only managers that we actually give time is like Ancelotti, Conte. Like, these are people that have proved themselves like worldwide.
But even with Conte, you didn't really give him the time.
He won a league though, didn't he?
Yeah, he won the league, and then he
had time to win a league. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Frank Lampard wasn't in for nearly long enough. Like, I think a manager should at least get a season, at least, because even if as long as you don't get relegated, obviously, like even if you do finish mid-table or whatever, then it's like, all right, well, he wasn't right for that season, like, or whatever. But
the problem is
that's more evidence to judge them on.
Yeah, but I think the problem is it's not as with managers in the Prem, it's not as black and white as it was before, where it's these are the 4 teams that are gonna get top 4. Everyone else is basically now scrapping to get 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and so on. And also, you don't know who's going to win the league all the time. Like my money's, I said Liverpool before, but my money's now on City, just based on them now climbing and battering people as they go along. But it's not as black and white as that anymore for Chelsea. And it's one of these things of, even Fergie had times when he was finishing 3rd and stuff. And
he also nearly got sacked right at the start of his
career. That's what I mean. You don't at the moment. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen where Klopp went and battered the league this season. He could go finish 7th. Then is that then grounds to get rid of him? No, it's not.
No, but he's done a lot though.
By of what he's done, and you back him. And the problem is we're in this now cycle of, as soon as you start picking up a bit of results, it's then whispers of, well, he's got to be sacked. And it's like, but why has he? It's just that every team has a dip, and it's how they then come out of it. But I think for Chelsea, it was one of those things of, it didn't really look like you were going to get out of that groove.
No, I was thinking that as well, like what you just said, because everyone could feel it that he was going to get sacked.
Yeah,
you just knew, you could just tell. It's like, we're picking up results in the cup or whatever, but as soon as we get beat by Leicester and that, you're like, oh, for God's sake, he's going to go.
Yeah.
You just feel that he's going to go. You don't even have to really think about it. You can just feel it.
Whereas when you look at other, I think it's just synonymous of Chelsea because of the way they go through managers, because you feel like they don't start picking results up, that he's going to go, because Abramovich don't give a shit. He'll pay him off and just get someone else in. Yeah. But it's not like Pep. If Pep goes through a dip, it's going to be very unlikely that people are going to start going, well, he's fucking gone. Because
I think nowadays you have to already be an established manager to not get sacked. None of them are exempt from a sacking, but obviously there's just more evidence as to why you shouldn't sack him, because you can see what they've already done. Frank Lampard's done virtually nothing with his managerial career because it's been so short. So and going to a big club so soon is a bit like, oof. This is why I like what Gerrard's done, because he's gone to Rangers. So it's okay, go to a league where there's only really 2 teams that compete.
Yeah.
They're expected to finish 2nd, I would say, in there, because Celtic are just.
Well, they were, because Celtic were
so it's pretty much always been like that. So he's like, okay, cool. And if he gets them on a good run, they know that they've 2nd is pretty much guaranteed anyway. So they've not really got too far to fail, too much room to fail.
Gerrard's been very, very clever with it, because he's not been the English manager that's been sucked into having to manage an English team and build his rapport that way. He's gone away to Scotland, like you said, where the expectation's all on Celtic. So he just gets to manage a squad and do his job. And it just so happens at the moment they're flying and haven't lost a game in the league yet. And the win with Gerrard is he will, whenever he might leave Rangers, and if it's to go manage Liverpool in the future, he's established he can get a squad playing. And also, he'll never be hated by Rangers. Even if he leaves, and whatever, he will never be hated by Rangers fans, because he's the guy that knocked Celtic off their perch for 10 in a row, may go the season unbeaten. I mean, I probably expect them to lose, but they may go the season unbeaten. He will go down in Rangers history, and he'll be a legend it. So he's a Liverpool legend who he may go manage later in the future, but then he will be a Rangers thing. And that's kind of, as a manager, what you want. Whereas with Lampard, it's a bit of a sour taste. It's a bit of he is a club legend, but the time he's had as a manager is actually.
I think it's the same as what happened.
But it's been a bit No,
I know what you mean. It's been underwhelming. It's the same thing with Shearer. Newcastle legend, Premier League legend, goes to Newcastle to think, okay, if anyone can get Newcastle out of their funk, it's Alan Shearer. They got relegated.
Yeah.
And he's never managed a club since. Now he's a pundit. So, do you know what I mean? So but going back to Tuchel, hopefully he's going to do well. But from an outside perspective, what do you think would be his best system? Because I was thinking about this earlier. Because I noticed from the game against Wolves, our whole midfield is full of playmakers, and it's too many. Because no one makes a good run. No one makes runs. So you've got Jorginho, Ziyech, Havertz, they're Kovacic. They're all in the same midfield. and no one's making runs. That's why there's no like killer ball, because they all want to play the final ball.
I think it depends, because like you said, you're in a similar position to like United a few seasons ago, where you had too many players in the same position, and it's a bit like, how do you fit them in?
Chelsea have always done that though. We've always had a packed midfield.
So but then what I'm thinking, pardon me, if it was me personally, I'd play a 4-3-3, because I think that you've got good, strong, wide players. Kante as a lone holding midfielder, and not put him in this double pivot bollocks. Like, put him as a lone holding midfielder like he does for France, and play two more progressive midfielders in front of him, like a Kovacic, and like probably not Jorginho.
No, you could put like Havertz in there. You could put Havertz.
Absolutely, yeah. And but personally, from what I've seen from Tuchel, is he quite likes a back three. Like, he played a bit of a back three with PSG.
Because yesterday he took Chilwell off yesterday, and I was like, what? And even Ben Chilwell was like, what, me?
Yeah.
But he took Chilwell off and he brought on Tammy Abraham.
But this is like the problem. Then you've also got a little bit is the signings, obviously, you made under Lampard. Lampard authorised those, so Lampard wanted those players, and he had the final say on yes or no. Now you've got a new guy that's come in. He probably might not even like half the players Lampard signed. So I rate Chilwell. Really. I think Chilwell's decent, but he might go in and go, I'm not having this Chilwell bollocks. And Chilwell could just sit on the bench then for the rest of his fucking career. And he might prefer.
He did start him though, so it might be a
No.
He needs to get a feel for the team, doesn't he?
But that's the issue that you have with when you get managers come in. Like, he might look at your squad and go, right, these are the players that I already like the look of, and I've seen them and I like them. So then it's working out who he likes, and if they don't fit his plans, there might be a lot of really upset people in that Chelsea squad. Like, so it could go both ways, because he is a very good manager and very tactically really good. But always the gamble that you have with sacking a manager mid-season, especially with the money you've spent, is you'll bring him in and he might not even like half the players that you've signed.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those, what do you do with him?
Yeah. You're right, but he's got to find a system. But I kind of wrote something down, and I thought 4-2-3-1, just to try and get the majority of good players in there. So obviously back four
played a bit of 4-2-3-1 though over Lampard, to be fair.
Yeah. So what I did is it was just a quick thing to think, okay, look, how can we get our best players in there and fit them all in? But you can't fit them all in. But obviously back four is normal. Then I thought Kovacic and Kante, because Kovacic has been playing really, really well. Like he was a bit poor when he came, but I think he's acclimatised to the Premier League now. So him in there with Kante, and then I thought Ziyech, Havertz, and Hudson-Odoi, because Hudson-Odoi was ripping yesterday as well, and then Werner up front. Like, that is the biggest thing that needs to happen for me. Is Werner up front. That is the biggest thing, because he's on a goal drought at the minute, but if he gets into a purple patch, mate, he'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, and
because we know what he's like in front of goal. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a very, very good modern day striker, and I think that he played his best when he played in a two, when he played off Poulsen and someone like, because Poulsen was the hold. It's like the old school little and large.
Yeah.
That, like, you used to play on FIFA and stuff, when you always had a big striker and then you had a little one. Yeah. Like, it was quick, and you had them to play off each other. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does, because he, like I said, he is a very good tactical manager. So it's just a case of what kind of happens from this point on, and also if the fixtures are kind to you in the near future.
That's important.
If the fixtures are kind to you in the near future, he can kind of afford to make mistakes and kind of work things out.
Just try things out. Yeah, I what I would do if I was him is, I don't even really know if you can speak to people that are higher up, but I'd just say to him, look, I'm going to try some stuff out, because I need to figure out what the best team is. So just give me a bit of time to try this out. These are the ideas that I've got. If they don't work, whatever, we'll have to come up with something new. But hopefully we can find something.
I imagine so. I mean, I imagine that when he got interviewed for the job, it was, what he plans and things like that.
Yeah, but it must be. Yeah.
I think that he will have a good reign to be doing it. I mean, and to be fair, he's actually a bit smart from Chelsea, because he's only on an 18-month contract. So it's one of those where it's like, okay, well, if you can turn this bit of season around and then you have a decent half next year, we can extend it.
We'll extend, yeah.
Kind of smart in a way, but at the same time, it might be one of those where it's like he don't even really see himself in it for a while. He's just a bit of a stopgap.
I mean, no one wants to be out of a job, do they?
No.
So, and the amount of money you're going to get, because you get paid off anyway. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It just goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
But for now, he's a Chelsea manager. Like when I saw him in the Chelsea tracksuit, I was like, "What is this?" It didn't look right. Yeah, it didn't fit, man. Just because he's come straight in and he's like already got the tracksuit on and for all this, I was like, "What?" I was like, that just, it feels weird to me. And then his post-match interview as well was like, so he was just like, I like what I saw. Like, if this is what we've got to build on, then I'm happy about it. Yeah. I was like, you've said that because you have to say that. Like, you're not happy with 0-0. We didn't look like scoring. So you could, like, that's what he needs to. We need goals, man. We need goals. And Ziyech needs to stop being such a passenger when he's on the pitch. Because if you didn't watch the game,
he was one of the signings that you made, and I thought that's a bloody good sign.
So did I, mate. But all he does is he gets the ball, cuts inside, and just passes it backwards or across the pitch. Yeah. He doesn't attack anyone. Like, he had a couple of, like, he was on the edge of the box a couple of times on the right hand side, and I thought, oh, just absolutely leg it top bins, just hit it, because you've got it in your locker. You did it for Ajax there. Like, he scored directly from a corner against Chelsea, but when he gets the ball in the box for Chelsea, he doesn't want to score. Yeah. Like, he doesn't want to shoot. He doesn't even shoot. Like, I don't obviously know what he's been told by managers or whatever, but come on, man, just bang one. Just like, no one's shooting. No one's shooting, man. It's trash.
Yeah, it's not a good.
What do you think about Mason Mount? Because I think he's going to have to try harder than he would have under Frank Lampard to stay in this team.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that he's out of the majority of players attacking players you do have, he's got the better attitude of all. He's one.
Yeah, I think that like he's a skillful player, but I think what he has to like work to that, rather like someone like Havertz has probably just got it in the lock, because Havertz never looks like he's on.
No,
he never looks like he's gonna have a sick game today. Just like you know what I mean. But he is silky. But Mason Mount is like bang bang bang, like really try hard. But like that's what he did when he came on yesterday, and I was actually happy to see it because no one else was doing it. Like, I don't obviously love Mason Mount, but I think he needs to try hard if he's going to stay in his team.
But the thing is, I think you need players like that in your team. You can have naturally talented people, but if they're not pulling their weight, then you will put on the people that will work hard and will do the job for you, and they will, and you know that you can rely on them. And yeah, everyone joked that Mount was Lampard's love child, and he was. Like, Lampard loved Mason Mount, but you know, I think that this will spur him on probably a little bit more than he even did under Frank, because he has got something to prove now. He's got something to prove of, I'm not just starting because Frank's manager, like I'm starting because I actually should play in for this team. And it's similar as well to like Abraham a little bit, and it's also similar to
any of the academy guys, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was more confused at the fact that you loaned Tomori, because I thought that he was going to be like the next big staple in your defense.
Yeah, I did.
But then
I really did.
We're happy just to fob him off to AC Milan. And from what I heard, he had a really, really good debut against Inter, even though they'd lost.
That's a tough game to come into as well for your first game.
Well, yeah, he got subbed on in like 19 minutes, and he had a really good game apparently. And the problem is AC Milan don't have an obligation to buy, but they have an option.
Yeah.
Like, so it's one of those that if AC Milan want to sign him and they pay the money that Chelsea want, I can see Chelsea cashing in, and I think that's a bit of a mistake, to be fair. But then you never know, because Tuchel might like him.
So is it a thing of having experience in the right areas though?
Potentially, but then I feel that like if you want him to have experience, you'd make him go to a championship club if you had him in mind. Whereas why would you loan him to AC Milan?
Yeah, that's a bit mad, isn't it?
Like AC Milan, out of all people to get like experience. That's
to be honest, they probably don't care about it, do they?
Milan like him and they fancy him, and Chelsea are like, we'll let him go and we'll see how he does in Italy. But I think it could be one of those where he goes, which I think is weird. Which I think
sometimes our business baffles me. I'm not gonna lie. Like we've made really good signings, but then you're like make good signings and add to what you've already got. Don't get rid of like someone that's playing like that has potential to be really good, especially at centre back, which is such an important position. Like Thiago Silva's not going to be here forever.
No,
got a couple of years in him at most. So who's going to fill in? We go back to Rudiger and Zuma.
Yeah,
which is that's a catastrophic partnership. There's so many mistakes in there. Like Zuma and Rudiger are good, but it's more of a physical thing. It's not like a actual defending thing. You know what I mean? That's why I think they play Thiago Silva with like Zuma or whatever, or with Rudiger, because it adds to it. But yeah, that's a weird one. That is Tomori. I'm not gonna lie. I do think that's a weird one, but we'll see how it goes. And it hopefully, where are we? Like 9th or something at the minute.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't think we're gonna get top 4 because there's too many teams in there that are doing too well.
People are dropping points and people are losing games. It's a weird one. Like you could have easily end up in the top 4. It's not done and dusted.
No, I don't think it's done and dusted, but I just think like I can only go on what we're doing at the minute. So from that, I'm thinking, I don't, and maybe it's a point of like trying to save disappointment and just saying, no, we ain't gonna get it, and then being happy if we do or like whatever. But we'll see how it goes, man. Hopefully, Tuchel can turn it around.